Back here on Spotlight, the Alabama Crimson Tide now 10-0 at home under Kalen DeBoer, extending that home win streak to 15 with a win over Vandy. Kind of looked dicey at first, threw an INT on the first drive, gave up a touchdown on the second, then missed a field goal on the next. But Bama got it together, bounced back, came out with a 30-14 win over Vanderbilt, a pretty good Vanderbilt team, might I add. They're tied for the second longest active home win streak in FBS, and now they're going to hit the road to take on yet another ranked SEC opponent in Mizzou. So let's welcome back the guys, Chip and Shehan. Bama, Mizzou, full preview coming your way. Bama looking to go 3-0 in SEC play. So, Chip, how much does veteran leadership for this Bama squad play a part in Alabama being able to show up in some of these bigger moments?
Yeah, and on the road, too, here against Missouri. Jacqueline, I've been thinking about this Alabama team a lot as we continue to position them possibly as, a real SEC championship contender. And I just think that Ty Simpson, Caden Proctor, you go through this lineup and you start to think about how many of these guys have played in a lot of big games and played in a lot of big games together. Even if Ty Simpson wasn't QB1, he was very much on the roster and a part of a lot of the last couple of years for the Crimson Tide. And I just think that is something that in a transient nature of college football, and Kalen DeBoer maybe with a little bit of a different leadership style than his predecessor, the fact that you do have that veteran core to lead the way. I would add Tim Keenum on the defensive line, LT Overton, who transferred in but has been there for a while, Deontay Lawson. They're just old and they're good and they're big, and I just think that as they continue to wrestle with their role, which is going to be that of an SEC favorite, which is going to be managing expectations, I think that having those voices lead the way will give Alabama the best chance for success. It's going to be a noon kickoff, 11 local time. They're going to have to be razor focused because Missouri is coming off a bye and they are looking for blood. And I think that nothing that Kalen DeBoer says in the locker room will mean as much as the leadership that they get from that core group of veterans that they have on this team.
I mean, it feels like every couple of weeks that speech from Jonathan Allen goes viral on social media, right? And that's what Alabama is at its core, right? They are a team that is player-led, like Chip mentioned. And I think that when you look back at these past couple of years, 2023, this team is one play away from playing for a national championship. 2024, they obviously blow some opportunities to be in the expanded college football playoff. Now in 2025, they've been punched in the face the way that they did against Florida State with a lot of stuff that they did not anticipate. I think that through these next couple of weeks, they have responded very well. You obviously talk about the guys who have been in this program. I think that you also point to one like Ty Simpson, who wasn't the starting quarterback at Alabama each of the past few years, but has been a part of this program for a very long time. Almost nobody in college football has waited as long as Ty Simpson for his starting job. So I think that when you look at this team and at this roster, there's a lot of people who I think are willing to step up and say, don't overlook this opportunity.
Waiting for your starting job in this day and age in college football is almost more of a rarity, right? So Ty Simpson did that, to your point, Shehan, now sitting at plus 750 to win the Heisman behind Dante Moore and Carson Beck. So what would yet another win here on the road against a ranked SEC opponent do for his Heisman chances at this point in the season?
I think it would be huge. I think that it would be just another piece of validation, because look at some of these Heisman winners of the past couple of years. The reality is there are a few, most notably Johnny Manziel, who didn't come out swinging. In that first game against Florida for Johnny Manziel, they were lackluster. And I think that for Ty Simpson, with the way that he's played since that first game, this very much has the opportunity to be that as well. These past couple of weeks, he's done a much better job getting the ball out quickly, making quick reads, making quick decisions. Obviously, in that Georgia game, he was phenomenal, connected on 8 of 8 on third downs in the early going. He's been a guy who isn't necessarily going to put up monster numbers, but he's just done the right thing over and over again. And, when we were coming into the season, I felt like going from a very sort of inconsistent quarterback as a passer in Jalen Milroe to Ty Simpson could potentially be an upgrade. Now, yes, you lose that running ability, and that's something we'll get to later, but I do think that he is more along as a passer than what Alabama has had really since Bryce Young left for the NFL. I think that he has a huge opportunity over these next couple of weeks to reestablish themselves.
All right, and you guys are on the same page when it comes to your impact player to watch, Jam Miller. So, Chip, what do you need to see from him here in this matchup?
I mean, he's healthy, first of all, but I need to see the physical punishment that only Jam Miller can impose on the opponent. Because sometimes, Jacqueline, it is physics, it is not football, and the force of this rocked up running back is absolutely impossible to bring down. So he gets a little bit of burn against Georgia, just good to get the blood flowing again, but with 22 carries for 136 yards and a score against Vanderbilt, wake up Southeastern Conference, because the absolute bowling ball, the refrigerator with legs that is Jam Miller, is not only here to be able to be an individual star, but to be able to bring some real balance to this Alabama offense and make them very, very difficult to defend, because I think that they missed Jam Miller badly, because running the football in some key situations, those hard yards, sometimes you need somebody with the physical gifts like Miller. And so I think it is great to see him healthy again after that upper body surgery from the preseason, and the fact that we got to see him be so productive tells me he's ready to go and could be a big force against Missouri.
There's only so many situations where being a refrigerator with legs is a compliment, and this is certainly one of them. All right, let's go to the Mizzou side of things, because they have not beaten the Tide as an SEC opponent. 0-5. They're looking to do it. They're looking to go 6-0 for the first time in over a decade. This 15-game home win streak, Shehan, it feels like things could be falling into place for Mizzou to just do that and finally get that win over Bama as an SEC opponent.
Yeah, and I'll admit it, I was one of those people writing the obituary for Missouri before the season, because I felt like after they lost their great receivers, they were just not going to be able to replicate what they've done. But darn it, they're doing it again. And I think that it starts on the defensive side of the ball. They've been very aggressive. They've settled down in a big way. Even after losing Blake Baker last season, they've managed to be consistent. And then on offense, they took a swing on some of the most underrated players in the transfer portal. And I'll start with Bo Pribula at quarterback, obviously a backup for Penn State last year. He's brought a ton, both with his arm and legs. And even though this isn't the same level of receiver room that we've seen the past couple of years, they've been more on schedule because of the way that he's been able to make decisions and move the ball with his legs. So this is a great team. This is a balanced team. We've talked about complementary football for most of this segment. This is a team that really lives it every single down.
All right, want to get to Mizzou's rushing attack, arguably one of the best in the country. So, Chip, how much is that going to play into your impact player to watch and what you need to see offensively from Mizzou?
I mean, come on, if you want to get creative, Ahmad Hardy is on like a Heisman watch list, right? An individual player who can mean so much to his team that he fits the requirement of the most outstanding player in college football. Because when you watch this Missouri rushing attack, yes, they do have other options. They get a little bit deep. Yes, Bo Pribula can get it done with his legs as well. But man, Ahmad Hardy is tough to bring down. And the way that Missouri plays, where they use a little bit of tempo from time to time, Hardy can be that kind of player when they rush to the line. Defense is catching their breath, and then here comes Hardy breaking through the middle. He can create an explosive play. So the production is there as a team, obviously, like 229 yards per game, one of the top rushing offenses in the country. But Hardy as an individual, just a real star, a great find. To Shehan's point, the evaluation process by Eli Drinkwitz and the staff has been A+ so far in this offseason. And I think that being able to put the pieces together for this offense in particular with Hardy as the star is huge.
All right, it is game prediction time. Mizzou, 3.5-point dogs. Shehan, how does it go down?
Yeah, this is going to be a game where we stress test the trenches. And for that reason, give me Alabama to win. I think that Jam Miller coming back was a huge deal for this team. You felt his presence in these first couple of games that they were without him. I think that him coming back makes them a more balanced offense. And I think that Ahmad Hardy, obviously a fantastic player, is going to face one of the biggest challenges of his career in Tim Keenan and that Alabama defensive line. So I think this Alabama team is focused. I think they're ready. I think they're going to go on the road and pick up a big win and cover.
Love that read of the game, Shehan. I see it similarly. Alabama doesn't need style points. They just need a W. A little bit lower scoring in this one. I've got Alabama winning 24-17 behind, kind of like what Shehan was saying, a great run game and a great defensive line.
All right, so the guys are in agreement. Bama is going to win. Shehan, Chip, we appreciate it with a Bama-Mizzou preview Saturday, noon Eastern. In the meantime, make sure you check out the CBS Sports College Football YouTube channel. You can subscribe right now by scanning that QR code on your screen. We'll have more Spotlight coming up after the break.